Over the past few days, I've been getting a lot of messages from a lot of people that they're feeling anxious about catching COVID, anxious about their jobs or businesses, and anxious about the times that they're living in. And rightly so, even I'm anxious. But let's understand what is our biggest weapon against fighting COVID. Our biggest weapon is the immunity that we have. And how do we build our immunity? Taking vitamin C or vitamin D tablets? Or just about the hygiene that we maintain? No. The biggest weapon for building immunity is our mental strength. Let me share with you a story during the World War II of an alleged experiment by Adolf Hitler in his concentration camps. He was notoriously known for his experiments on the prisoners of war. In one of the experiments, he informed two prisoners that he will be cutting off their veins on the wrist and letting them die as a result of loss of blood. And then he blindfolded both the prisoners but cut off the vein of only one prisoner and just made a scratch on the hand of the another prisoner. As time passed by, both the prisoners could listen to the dripping of blood drop after drop. While the first prisoner was actually bleeding and having a loss of blood, the second prisoner imagined that he was bleeding and that sound of dripping of blood was of his. And what would you expect the result of this experiment to be? While the first prisoner died as a result of loss of blood, the second prisoner died because he thought that he was dying. That's the power of human mind. It can create a hell out of a heaven and also has the ability to create heaven out of hell. I've come across last stage cancer patients recover and seen terminally ill patients fight back to life, purely driven by the mental strength and the ability to conceive a thought in their mind of what their reality is. So let me share with you all three things that will help us become a warrior in these challenging times and not let anxiousness suck the life out of us. First, observe what you're consuming. Today, when you look at the news flow constantly, when you look at your WhatsApp notifications, we are constantly bombarded with news about COVID and how it is devastating the world. While technology has helped us stay connected with our loved ones during these challenging times, it has also brought in the entire world to our living rooms, to our bedrooms, to our own lives completely. And when you're consuming this kind of a news flow all through the day, it is bound to build in anxiousness because that is what your reality is. When what you consume is what is creating your reality. So what's important for us to do is to limit this consumption. While we cannot ignore the news, we can surely limit the time frame of how long and how often are you consuming the news flow. So as a practice, I've limited my consumption of news on the news channels and the updates that I receive to 30 minutes a day. And that's when I update myself of the happenings of the world and just to be aware of the new updates which are happening. And that's what helps me maintain my sanity by focusing on the things that I have to do during the rest of the day. Point 2. Focus your energies on the things that you can do. Anxiousness makes us worry about the things which are beyond our control. And that's where we need to limit that time. And that we can do by focusing on the things that we can do, like taking the preventive measures, staying safe, taking the precautionary measures. And beyond that, put your heads down to the work that you do. Just focus your energies on the things that you can do. And that's where you'll get little time to worry about the things which are beyond your control. And finally, point 3. Let's understand how the law of attraction works. We create our reality based on the things that we're constantly thinking. So, visualize a beautiful world, a world beyond COVID. And that's where you'll find your hope. And that's where you'll create your reality. And let's understand, nothing lasts forever. In January this year, everything was on an upward swing. The markets were high, the economy was roaring, the jobs were in demand, the businesses were soaring. And here we are in July this year. The markets are down, the economy is bleeding, the job market is dull, the businesses are bleeding. But this will change. Just like the upward swing had a March, a COVID, this downward swing will have a time when things will change, when things will start looking up again. And that's where we have to have that hope and wait for that day. And like Jack Ma beautifully said, today is bad, tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. So for all your anxious thoughts which are there in your mind right now, just remember, this too shall pass. This is a phase in your life. This isn't life in itself. All through our life, we have seen different situations where we have managed crisis. While we are in the crisis, we had the pain of it. We had our doubts. But like we have passed through every crisis, this too shall pass. Stay safe, stay blessed.